So I have a book for you,
Yes,
and I think you have a confession.
I do have a confession. I read it, or I should say I listened to it. You told me about it, and I thought the cover art was so pretty that I went home and I got all three books on Audible, and I listened to all of them.
I was really surprised because I thought you just had the first reading, and then like all of a sudden you're telling me about the ending, and I was like, you listened to all of them already?
Yeah, because like Audible really, really helped with my nighttime anxiety insomnia.
And that's okay, because I know I was like, you should read this, because she reminded me so much of you, and
Aw,
I thought you would really enjoy the book. So I can't blame you for reading it before I finished up all of these drawings.
I'm really sorry.
No, don't be sorry. We'll talk about it, and I think it'll still be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So, Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is Evangeline. She's a hopeless romantic, and she believes in magic. And of course, she's an orphan, because why wouldn't she be? She's a main character.
Sorry, I feel cruel every single time you put like orphan or something on I giggle, and I don't mean to sound terrible. It's just it's always there.
No, your laughter makes me happy. We start off with our main character, Evangeline, but she's outside a church looking for a secret door to the Prince of Hearts, who is I guess, like a fate. And so she knows that this is his church, but you got to find the secret door to get to it. And so she finds it. So she accidentally cuts herself on this door and gets blood on it. And the door opens, but not before ominously whispering, "You sure you want to do this? Only heartbreak awaits." And she's kind of like, well, I mean, I'm already depressed, so so she walks into this decrepit church and sees the statue of the Prince of Hearts, and she prays to it, telling it that her true love has been cursed by her stepmother to fall in love with her stepsister. Conveniently, they're getting married today in like an hour. And so she's praying, and that's she hears someone laugh behind her, mocking her for praying.
Rude.
So this guy that's sitting in the pews is laughing at her, saying, "Wow, why are you praying to someone that just like kills the women that he kisses?" And he's like eating this white apple that's like extremely juicy. That was just a weird detail. I don't know why I had to hear it. Like, and like as he like throws it on the ground and it like splats on the ground. Nasty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like that.
Well, it's kind of like I thought of like blood imagery or something, and I'm like, what kind of apples? What's going on here? Like, what kind of
Oh, I
apples are
didn't
you
even
eating?
think about blood. I just thought like this sounds nasty as heck. But turns out that this homeless apple eating bum is none other than the Prince of Hearts, Jax. Now, Jax doesn't believe in love, and he has the kiss of death. So, whoever he kisses with his lips on the mouth will die. And he really likes apples. Jack, he questions Evangeline's feelings to the boy that she supposedly loves, and he's Oh, I guess I should go into detail that the guy that she loves is this guy named Luke. She met him in a shop the night her father died, crying, and Luke pulls her into his arms and he's like, "I don't know if I can fix your broken heart, but you can take mine because it's already yours." So, there we go.
It's so corny.
Like, either this guy is just as naive as she is, or he's like a legit dirtbag. So, Jax offers to help Evangeline after a bit of harassment over how many people she's kissed. And I was like, like, I like Jax, but I super did not like that conversation about like talking about like her kissing body count.
Yeah, that was weird.
But so he offers to help Evangeline if she gives him three kisses. Not to him, though. Three people of his choice, placing three broken hearts on her wrist, or three images of broken hearts on her wrist. I guess I shouldn't say like a tattoo. Not like he like placed like three hearts on her. After doing so, Jax leaves to stop the wedding, promising he won't kill anyone because she's like, "Please, just don't hurt anybody." And he's like, "What's the fun in that?" But he leaves, he promises he won't. And immediately, Evangeline regrets, or at least worries about her decision, and goes to the wedding hoping to stop him. But when she gets there, it's eerily quiet and filled
Super
with
quiet.
statues with familiar faces. And Jax is there eating another weird apple, and she demands he change them all back, to which he tells her they can only return to normal. Or was I
The way she's standing in the courtyard.
Jack says they can only return to normal if someone takes their place. So Evangeline takes the goblet and she drinks. And for me, this made me like Evangeline. I think this is a great moment of self-sacrifice. It was her fault that they turned into statues, yes. But these are also like people that hurt her. And all she wanted was like her relationship back. She didn't want
Yeah.
anyone to get hurt. I don't know, it's like, she took responsibility of her actions. And I think that's great. I think there's just too many, as like what you said, like with Powerless, like girl bossing her way. And
Yeah.
I liked reading a character with like compassion and a better sense of self-responsibility.
I agree because like she also didn't know that that would happen. She wanted to stop the wedding, but she didn't know that that's what would have happened. She wouldn't have done it. So she was tricked in a way, like I mean she shouldn't have done the contract, but still like she's not a bad person. She has a heart.
Yes, I liked her. And so she drinks it and she becomes stone. After 6 weeks, she wakes up in a lab of a potions master named Poison. Another one of the decks of destiny. Oh, that's what Jax was called, is the decks of destiny. That's what the fates are. They're from like tarot cards.
I didn't realize they were tarot cards at first. I thought it was like a deck of playing cards. And I'm like, why are they so tied to like a deck of playing cards? Like, what the, yeah, I feel dumb. But yeah.
No, no. There's more that I didn't know until like after the second book. So
Mhm.
it took me a long time. I was like, what is happening? Like, I understand
Yeah.
what's happening, but there's things I'm like, did I miss something? Am I supposed to know all of this?
Yeah.
And so, Poison, the poisoner. Okay, things that happened while she was a rock is that now people are celebrating her. She's looked at as a hero for fixing this wedding and changing people back to normal. She sacrificed herself for these people. And so everyone loves Evangeline now. And so Marisol comes to her and tells Evangeline that she and Luke planned on having another wedding while Eva was turned into stone. But on the day of the wedding, Luke gets attacked by wolves, which sounds fishy to Ava because she's like, wait a minute, like we don't have wolves where we live, so where did these wolves come from? So she's getting a little
Yeah.
suspicious of this story, but she still believes her stepsister. And so a few weeks go by, and Evangeline is working in one of her father's shops that is now owned by her stepmother, who, by the way, had the one that Ava's dad had willed to her closed down while she was a rock. So that also happened. So her father owns like a bunch of little magical shops, and the one that was supposed to go to Ava after he died, the stepmother sold. So she's working at a different one, to try to earn some money. And
Mhm.
so Marisol walks into the shop to give Evangeline some important looking mail. It's a very fancy envelope with a red seal, and it says, Dear Miss Fox, turns out that she is invited to have tea with the Empress.
Yeah.
Who is very impressed with her sacrifice. And there's like this long paragraph that goes off on the Empress and her sister and how the sister is like this fate slayer and did all these things. And it was one of those like moments again where I was kind of like, why is there like this whole story that I don't
Yeah.
know? It's like, what is this? Why? I want to hear about the fate slayer and what that's about. So I was just kind of
Did
like,
you find out why?
I'll tell you at the end of this.
Okay, I didn't want to say anything too
No,
soon.
were
Sorry.
you the same way too? Were you just like, what is happening?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was going to close in and it didn't. I was like, what?
So the Empress and her sister tell Eva about the invitation to the magical north for a royal party concerning the Prince Apollo, who's in search of a wife. Donatella, who is Empress Scarlet's sister, is avoiding someone who lives in the north. And to avoid confrontation by not wanting to ignore a royal invitation, Donatella asks Evangeline to go in her place, thinking Eva would make a great ambassador, and also as a way to thank her for her bravery and her courage. And Eva always wanted to visit the north, so she says yes, asking if she can bring her stepsister Marisol to the north with her so they can both have a fresh start. The reason why she's asking Marisol after everything that she's done is because she thinks that Marisol is just a victim of her mother's, Eva's stepmother's, cruel raising. Because growing up, she
Yeah.
heard Marisol be treated poorly and lesser than, you're not pretty enough. So she thinks that Marisol is the way she is because of how awful her stepmother is. So she's trying to be nice and say, why don't we both go here and get a fresh start away from boys? Maybe you can find someone new here too.
Yeah.
So everything about the North is magical.
Super magic.
It's magical and mysterious. When people leave it, they mysteriously can't remember what they experienced. Even the books change their stories as you read them. So I drew this guy because he's leaving and then he forgets, which is why he like puts the things down and wonders like what's going on. And also, Ava's mom is from the north. Like, I think she left it and then she found her dad outside of the north. Evangeline's mother was from the
Yeah.
north. And so this is extra special to her. She gets to experience the stories that her mother shared with her growing up before she died. There are supposedly dragons and other magical creatures here that they don't get to see in the south. And thanks to the Empress, Eva and Marisol are set up with clothes and money and a nice place to stay for the festival, which is called Nocte Never Ending. And people have placed bets on who the prince will marry, and it turns out that word of Eva has reached even the north for her heroic acts. And some people have placed bets that the prince will choose her because her hair is so beautiful and Prince Apollo loves beauty. So
Really shallow.
their first night there, Eva is invited to go to a dinner party where Prince Apollo will meet all the ladies. She finds him high up in the tree, and then a little while later, none other than the Prince of Hearts, Jax, comes in, but now he has blue hair.
Oh, I wondered why she didn't talk about why he did that. It just kind of was.
Yeah, I thought that was really weird too. And a pretty lady named Lala tells Evangeline some
Hola.
gossip about Jax. She is wonderful. I love her.
Me too.
She tells Evangeline some gossip about Jax that he had gotten into trouble with the Princess Donatella. And so, trying to escape a reporter, she runs into Jax. After a bit of like weird flirting, he tells Evangeline that Apollo is the first one he wants her to kiss with his little three kissies thing.
Moochie woochies.
Putting his blood on her lips as some kind of weird spell thing, he tells her she needs to kiss him by the end of the night or she'll die. And when her time comes to have a one-on-one moment with Prince Apollo, he quickly begins losing interest in her, mostly because she keeps talking about Jax. He's like, I don't really want to hear about other men when we might potentially be married. So I don't really blame I didn't really blame him for like looking the other way because that is a bit of a turnoff. It just seems
Right.
so awkward.
Yeah.
So she reacts fast because she doesn't want to die and she doesn't want him to lose interest in her either. So she kisses his cheek and then he stands there and then he kisses her back. And he's like, I kind of liked that. I didn't like it. Apollo liked it. And then
Thank you
he
for the clarification.
let me clarify, but he liked it, which is what those the red eyes are for. He's not demon possessed. He's under the spell. So he kisses her back and then he kisses her again. And something about it feels weird, but she keeps going along with it. And then Jax has to pull her away. And when Eva looks back at Apollo, something looks off about him. And it might be because he's under a spell. But so there's this like thing going on where the newspaper calls Marisol a cursed bride because everyone turned to stone at her wedding, and then she tried to marry Luke again, and he got mauled by the wolves. So the rumor followed her all the way to the north, and so she's embarrassed and isn't sure if she wants to go to the next party. But also in the paper, it's rumored that Marisol went to the magic shop, supposedly searching for ways to turn Evangeline back into stone. And Evangeline just brushes off the tabloid and tells Marisol not to worry about it because, like, they've said plenty of stories about her. I mean, they've always been nice to Evangeline, but they're also over exaggerated. But now Evangeline can't help but be suspicious of her sister because what was she doing in the potion shop? In the end, Marisol decides to go to the party, but not before catching Evangeline going through her room trying to find evidence of Marisol buying potions, which all she can find is a book about cooking. So she wasn't able to find anything suspicious. So now she just looks like a jerk.
The mask.
The next party begins, and at the party, Eva runs into Lala again, and soon happens to see Jax speaking to Marisol. But then music interrupts, and doors burst open, and Prince Apollo comes out, dressed as an archer from the book The Battle of the Archer and the Fox. Now, tradition is that the prince dances with 5 ladies, but Prince Apollo looks around the room, locking eyes with Evangeline, and says, "There's only one girl I want to dance with." He's on a horse, by the way. Like,
I
like
thought it was
what?
a fox.
The
I
boys
thought it
are
was
like,
a
"What
fox.
is that thing?" You know, it's like it's a horse. I don't know how to draw those. Difficult.
Nobody knows how to draw those, not even like legitimate, like professionally trained artists that spent money to go to school, they still don't know how to draw horses. I thought it was a long fox.
There's like the running gag on webtoons because like they always have to artificially like place horses into the thing, so everyone always looks forward to the horse pictures. Yes, the webtoon horses.
That's funny.
Sorry. So there's only one lady that Apollo wants to dance with. He sees Evangeline and he walks towards Evangeline, but he goes right past her and takes Serendipity by the hand. And
Rude.
rude, but he didn't choose Evangeline. What is this about? The end. Understandably so, Evangeline walks away embarrassed, and she hears Jack's voice in her head. Because, I mean, I guess he can speak inside of her head. I don't know. He's got that power, though. So he talks in her head, and he's like, "Self-pity doesn't look good on you, little fox." Because that's his nickname for her, is Little Fox. And then behind her, Apollo calls out for her, going, "Evangeline." I have my notes on here, and I put lots of throat bobbing. And I'm remembering that there's a lot of his throat bobbed. His throat bobbed a lot.
What does that even mean?
I think he's like,
Like swallowing?
I
Like
think
your
he's
Adam's apple?
swallowing.
Why didn't you just say that then?
But that's my notes is lots of throat bobbing. So that made
Hmm.
me giggle just now, so I had to share it.
Yeah. Thank you for that lovely imagery.
He gets on one knee and he proposes. Oh no, she's thinking about it. Of course, she says yes. But then Evangeline starts to wonder if Jax set all this up. Her thoughts go back and forth on with what Jax's plan really is and why Jax wanted her to kiss Apollo. But then she stops thinking about it and kisses Apollo. But the next day, Marisol and Eva are having tea together, and suddenly there's a bang on the door, and Apollo comes in with a bunch of soldiers. Apparently, the gossip news put a fear in Apollo by saying women would want to hurt Evangeline out of jealousy of her being chosen by Apollo. And Marisol, going to the potion shop, wanting to turn her into stone, also sets that in him. So he does not like Marisol. And she tries to tell him, no, she's fine. Please, can she come to the palace too? Blah, blah, blah. So Apollo tells Evangeline he needs her to move into the palace for her own safety. And now Eva and
Uh-oh.
Apollo, what?
I said, uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I guess if she's going to marry him, you might as well move to the palace, right?
No, I meant inviting her sister for everything. Like if I had a sister, aka you, so if I one true love, like tragedy in my life, I finally found someone that I love and that loves me. And then I wake up one morning and it's like, oh, your sister's marrying your guy, even though like I'd be devastated. I wouldn't invite that said sister to go live in the palace with me. I don't know.
You're making sense, or it's like, I like you. Let's try to start over. You can try to find a new guy. But yeah, it's like you do have a bit of a record of stealing my guy. So maybe you can stay in this very nice lodge while I go to the palace with my future husband and let's get married before you screw that up.
Yes, exactly.
Eva and Apollo are to be married in a week, and within that time, Apollo adorns her with gifts, and she gets a beautiful wedding dress, and he even gets a tattoo of her name on his chest. But she realizes she feels something is off, as I believe one should in a position like this, because what? Through the gossip writer, we learn that Prince Apollo has a younger brother named Tiberius, who has gone missing. He also states that Prince Apollo is so in love that Tiberius is worried, thinking that Evangeline has bewitched him, which makes Eva wonder again, is he? Is he bewitched by her? Did Jax possibly set this whole thing up? I don't know, Evangeline. He just wanted you to kiss him, put creepy blood on your lips to set something off, and now you're chosen to be the princess. I don't know.
What are you talking about? It's a mystery.
They can't, it's true love. Has to be.
You gotta force it. It's true love. The more you force it, the truer it is.
But in order to know the truth, if Apollo really does love her, or if he's under a spell, she must talk to Jax. So she writes to Jax asking to meet him. So she writes to him and then he writes back to her, and then they end up meeting at this carriage where Eva asks Jax if Apollo is under a spell, and she asks him to remove said spell. And in so many words that are not a yes, Jax admits that Apollo is indeed under a spell. Evangeline demands that Jax remove the curse, not wanting to be married to someone who didn't actually love her. And Jax refuses, of course, so Eva threatens to call off the wedding. And when the carriage begins to move, Jax tells her it's time for the next assignment, the next smoochy wooch. Then we hear again of Jax having his heart broken by Princess Donatella, and it's like there's so much Donatella. Jax takes Eva to a castle where some old lady lives and wants Eva to kiss her hand or cheek. This woman, I think it's Serendipity's grandmother. I could be wrong. It just the name came and it left my brain right away. But it's not a big deal who this old lady is, other than she's a powerful old lady. So Eva manages to kiss her cheek, causing the old woman to fall under a spell. Now completely infatuated with Eva, the old woman will do whatever she asks of her, meaning whatever Jax wants of her, which is to see the vault. The vault is within a magical area that was meant to be destroyed. So Eva has like this magical Keyblade blood where she can open up doors with her blood. If she puts her blood on a door, she can unlock a door, and she can even talk to the arches and the doors.
Very
Very
niche superpower.
very demure. But she doesn't know, I don't think she knows if Jax knows, so she's trying to keep it to herself because she doesn't want him to know about it. As time ticks away, the old lady is leading them to the vault, and you can kind of tell that the spell is slowly breaking, and it completely breaks when Jax asks Evangeline to ask the old woman about the stones. And Evangeline has no idea what these stones are, but she asks anyway, and the old hag becomes what somewhat demon possessed. She starts making this really creepy chant about a prophecy about a peasant girl crowned in rose gold opening the Valerie Arch. Of course, Jax knows this prophecy, and it's exactly why he chose Evangeline in the first place.
It looks like she's going Kaioken.
Kaioken. Jax manages to knock the old lady out, and then they make their escape. And so Evangeline takes the initiative to find out more about this prophecy and what the Valerie Arch is. What she does know is that the Valerie Arch was named after the royal family named the Valors, who are no longer around. And the very place that Prince Apollo lives in is the Valor's old castle, Wolf Hall. She searches the library and she finds nothing. But later that night, Apollo is at her window. But since it's snowing and freezing, Evangeline invites him up so he doesn't die of cold. And she takes this opportunity to ask Apollo about the Valors and the prophecy. Apollo gladly tells her the story of the prophecy, claiming it's merely a fairy tale, that the Valerie Arch was created by the Valors to lock up dangerous powers and to protect the North. But the other version of the story is that the Valors lied and they created something that needed to be locked up. So all the head houses decapitated the Valors and sealed up the Valerie Arch. And the creature with the prophecy to seal up the arch, which would normally just be sealed in blood, but then there's like a diviner that puts together a prophecy and they seal it like a key. And it's a whole thing.
How does prophecies go?
There are also different stories as to what is locked up. One being a dangerous creature or a powerful magic, the other being highly coveted treasure. So Eva wonders, does Jax want the greatest treasure, or does he want to free the greatest terror? So tomorrow is Eva and Apollo's wedding night, and she decides to go through with the wedding in hopes to possibly break the curse that is on Apollo. So the wedding happens, and the priest ties their hands with a rope.
It sounds Catholic. Sorry, I don't know. I don't mean that as like an insult. That's like the Catholic thing where you do the rope thing.
I didn't know that
Sorry.
was a Catholic thing, but it was just the way you said it made me laugh.
Sorry, I just wasn't expecting it in a little fantasy book. When my parents got married, they had like the Mexican Catholic wedding and they did the like rope. You put your hands together and they tie like a rope around, like as in like you're unified kind of a thing. So
Oh, okay. I mean,
mm.
I've seen it in certain things. I just didn't connect the Catholicism to it, so it's just funny. But I was like, that seems normal enough, the little rope. But then the priest proceeds to say that not only their hearts, but their lives are joined. Like if one gets shot, the other will bleed. That's not as normal, in my opinion, to hear at a wedding.
I don't like that.
I digress. During the first dance, the ballroom goes quiet as a young man enters the room and he's like, "Hello, brother." And I was at first like, did I mention that Apollo had a brother? I did. Tiberius comes hand on his sword, and when Apollo reaches for his sword, Tiberius backs down and says, like, I just want to dance with my new sister. And Evangeline also doesn't want to start a fight at her wedding, so she she happily accepts to dance with Tiberius, and she also wants to get to know her new brother as well. So as they're dancing, he questions Evangeline if she loves his brother, and Eva is honest in her answer, saying she hopes to love him more than her last love. Tiberius leaves after that. And as the night goes on, she catches Jax walking into the throne room, and she goes after him. Again, she demands that he breaks the curse, and Jax finally gives in, pricking gold blood from his finger and placing it on her lips. And it's weird. I don't like that. It's weird. And so he says she needs to kiss Apollo before sunrise. So she goes to their wedding suite where Apollo is waiting for her in bed. And so she's a little bit nervous. This is her wedding night. And she's like, I gotta be a big girl now. So she chugs down some wine and she kisses him. And then he dies. She cries for help, and soldiers accuse her of murdering the Prince Apollo. And they grab her and they gag her, and suddenly they freeze. And Jax appears and tries to hypnotize her because she will not stop crying. And he's trying to say, stop crying, like my dad did when I was younger. And it doesn't work. Maybe I should cut that part out because it's going to sound like my dad. Then who knows? He
No,
just
it's
hurt my
funny
feelings.
though.
He just hurt my feelings. Nothing absolutely traumatizing happened.
I did think that was a little weird where he's like, your husband just died. Stop being a little bitch.
I let her cry. Oh my gosh, did she think she killed him? She just wanted to smooch. And now she's being accused of murder on top of that.
Get it together.
But
It
so it
happens on
does.
everybody's wedding night. Stop being dramatic.
We all cry on that special night, don't we?
And kill our husbands. That's normal.
Honest mistake. So Jax cuts her loose and says that there was no magic in that kiss because she's like, what did you make me do, Jax? I killed him. And he's like, there's nothing in that. It was a placebo effect.
Yeah, that's totally believable. I believe everything you're saying.
Right? Your magical gold blood, whatever. But that the magic on Apollo had long worn off. He just gave that to her to shut her up. And Evangeline cannot stop crying, and Jax believes she has been poisoned and that she will cry herself to death. So Jax takes her to a woman's house. Oh yeah, and she can't see because her eyes are frozen shut from crying. Like it was really cold outside, so her tears have frozen her eyeballs shut. So all she could do is hear the girl. She doesn't know who the girl is. So the girl that helped her turns out to be Lala, and Jax says that the poison Eva had drank had come from Lala. Turns out that Lala is actually a fate, as is Jax. She is called the Crying Bride, a woman who
Mhm.
is doomed to never have love. Her tears are poison, and that years ago she used to sell off her tears, but it was a long time ago, so someone must have bought a vial and used it to poison Eva. The newspaper tells that Tiberius is worried about Evangeline, and she tries to go back, but is stopped by Jax, who promises to help clear her name since he is also a suspect in the murder. And Jax makes a plan to visit Chaos, another fate, who is also a vampire. And I just want to make a quick note that Lala is just like the best friend a girl can have because
Yeah.
she takes Evangeline and she dresses Evangeline the hot mess at the moment. She dolls her up, dresses her up in some new clothes, and disguises her. So I think her hair is a different color, but I kept it pink just to go with the consistency of this. So Lala disguises her. So when she goes out, people won't recognize her. But so Chaos has like a underground vampire thing going on where he's got assassin vampires, and so they know a bunch of secrets. So Jax is thinking maybe Chaos will know where the vial of tears came from and who bought it. So that's why they're gonna go see Chaos. They go to the vampire's lair where Evangeline meets Chaos, who I guess she had actually seen before at Wolf Hole Manor as a soldier. I don't even remember that part, but she remembers it. So she has met him before as a soldier, a fake soldier. He wears a
Weird
helmet
one.
mask thing that keeps him from eating people, and I guess he has been wearing this for centuries. But so as they're talking, there's like this weird initiation thing going on where a group of people are being turned into vampires. And the rule is that to officially turn into a vampire, you first get injected with the vampire venom, and then that person needs to drink human blood by sunrise to complete the process. And right now, Evangeline is the closest thing to a human to them. Oh, and they're thrown into cages and they need to break free of the cages, find a human to drink their blood. So it's like a whole process of them being chosen and worthy of becoming a vampire, I guess. And if they don't drink human blood by sunrise, there's no harm done. They go back to being a human. So these human vampire things are here to join Chaos's order of spies and assassins, and they can only join if they succeed in becoming vampires. So Jax asks Chaos about the whole vial thing, and Chaos says no, but there was a woman who came to them looking for a toxin that is an effective method of murder, and this particular toxin will only kill the person you are hoping to kill. So there's that little bit of information. As Evangeline is asking, a cage of the vampires, like vampire wannabes, crashes to the floor, but she's more concerned with finding the truth about the Valors, which Chaos seems happy to share. Jax, however, does not seem as pleased with this. Worried about the vampires and Chaos trying to bite her, Jax drags Eva out of the place. And as they're leaving, vampires in the cages try bargaining with Eva to let them drink her blood when one voice calls out to her. It's a voice that she recognizes, and it's Luke. Luke in a cave. So now Luke is in that weird position of becoming, in the process of turning into a vampire. And he tells Eva that he was under a spell put on him by Marisol, and he didn't know he was under a spell until the vampire venom healed him. You see, he came to visit Eva one day, and Marisol greeted him, and she touched him, and suddenly she was all he could think about. And after he had been attacked by wolves, Marisol was so disgusted by his scars, because they weren't like sexy scars, they were gross scars, I guess, and she refused to see him. So he came to the vampires in hopes to be healed of his scars. And he asked, and then when he was healed, his mind was also healed from the spell that Marisol put him under. So he asked Evangeline for help in escaping the cage. And in this moment, Evangeline realizes that while she still cares for Luke and doesn't want him to be hurt, she no longer loves him like she did before. And now her eyes are also opened to how Marisol was the one who betrayed her, not her stepmother like she originally thought. Because she cares about Luke, she gives him a sword to help him escape. And Luke immediately tries to drink her blood. Jax, Jax saves Eva by breaking Luke's neck. Oh my gosh, I don't remember that. Shoot. And getting bit in the process. So she's like, oh my gosh, Luke. And he's like, don't worry, he'll be fine. He's a vampire. They run away and then realize that Jax is turning into a vampire. He locks himself in a cage-like thing. And while they're waiting for the sun to rise, I guess Jax does know that Eva has magical Keyblade blood. So that comes into the conversation. And during the process of this whole book, Jax and Eva have had like a fun developing relationship where they reluctantly begin to care for one another. I really liked Jax and Eva's relationship in this because it very much is like you see their relationship growing in the book and it doesn't feel forced. Like a lot of books, like why are these people even together? They don't even know each other. You do see them both not like each other and come to have their own type of relationship. I liked that.
Yeah. I liked that too. It felt a little bit more
Natural.
yeah, I mean he was an ass. Like sometimes I'm just was like, oh, this guy, he's such a jerk, but it wasn't, love at first sight, like the movie's fantasy fairy tale. It was very like they grew to get to know each other through like a lot of difficulties, and it was really sweet. I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I liked it.
Me
I
too.
really liked this development between them. The morning comes and Jax goes back to normal. After returning to normal, Jax is like extremely tired, and Eva notices wanted signs for her murdering Apollo. Before it was just like she's missing, please bring her back, and now it's like bring her back because she's a murderer. And she and Jax hide in a library-like place where Jax can rest. And this place is actually where I guess Jax has been staying. She saw this same place earlier, like the first day she was here, and she wanted to go in, but it was closed. And so now she's here, where she finds a newspaper reading that Marisol is engaged to Tiberius. What?
Oh
Oh my gosh. What a twist.
yeah. What the heck?
Evangeline wonders if Marisol put a spell on Tiberius and killed Apollo in hopes to become the queen. And Evangeline finds that same cookbook that Marisol has conveniently, and it is also a spell book. And so through
That's
this
right.
So through this book, Evangeline sees that Marisol did put a curse on Luke. She finds the little love potion one. And she ends up making a bunch of potions herself. While Jax is sleeping, she makes her own potions, a couple different ones. I think she makes like a luck one, and then she makes like an anti-charm one or whatever that she wants to give to him, but she makes a bunch of potions. So before Jax wakes up, she sneaks back into Wolf Hall, sneaking into Tiberius's room to leave the potion when Marisol comes in. Surprisingly, Marisol is happy to see Evangeline and gives her a hug and helps try to hide Evangeline, Evangeline confronts Marisol in this moment, saying she knows about the potion cookbook and she knows about Luke, which then Marisol admits putting the love potion on Luke, and Eva and Marisol have a bit of back and forth where Eva is putting her foot down, but then Marisol's like, "Wah, I just wanted to know what it's like to be loved, and the only way to break the spell was vampire venom or murder." I didn't mean, so I had to marry him because then his heart would be broken. Oh my gosh, poor Luke. I didn't want to do it. And so Eva begins to feel bad for her again. Supposedly, Marisol has been looking into potions because she felt so guilty about what she had done that she was trying to find a potion to fix things.
Mhm.
And when Eva, who still feels really guilty for turning her to stone, admits to making a deal with Jax and turning her to stone. Don't admit that. Oh my gosh, don't be honest with
Yeah.
people like this. Of course, Marisol acts like flabbergasted and calls Eva selfish. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, girl, like she's like, you ruined my marriage. If I was Eva, I'd be like cussing this girl out. Like, you shouldn't even be
Right.
marrying him. That was my future husband.
Exactly. I got really, really, really upset when this happened. When she's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, we're, finally like unburdening, the whole, oh, this happened, and how dare you? You betrayed me." It's like, first of all, you stole her man and you ruined my wedding. No, you ruined her wedding. It's like,
Yeah.
how dare you tell me about the bad things that I did?
Yes. Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
So Marisol calls in the guards and lies to them, saying that Eva admitted to the murder. Tiberius runs in and has Eva placed in his room for questioning. And Eva's like, I didn't murder your brother. And Tiberius is like, I know. Womp, womp, womp. And then, like, he sees that little antidote vial thing that Evangeline made for him. And he was like, ugh,
Mhm.
these drinks are so stupid. And then, like, he chugs it down. This is kind of weird. He's like, I hate this. Gulp, gulp, gulp. I can't wait to get rid of these when I'm the king. Gulp, gulp, gulp. And so then it turns out that that potion thing was a truth potion. He ends up confessing that he and Apollo got into a fight over Eva because she's the girl from the prophecy. So he knows that she's the girl from the prophecy, and he knows that she'll open the Valerie Arch. And she's like, no, I promise, I won't open up the Valerie Arch. I don't want to open up the arch. And he's like, I'm sorry, Evangeline, but prophecies have a way of coming true whether you want them to or not. So he wants to get rid of Evangeline, not because he doesn't like her, but because he believes that the Valerie Arch, is dangerous, and opening it up is dangerous, and she's the key to opening it up. And I think, like, that's kind of smart still. I think in a way he's smart by not wanting this arch opened because the Valerie,
Yeah,
well, we don't know evil or not or whatever, they did bad things, and whatever's in the arch should remain closed. So, I mean,
yeah,
I get his reasoning. I can't hate him for that reason. But
makes sense.
he even notices that he's being a little too truthful and thinks that he must be under the truth spell. So she hopes that maybe someone can hear his confession to her innocence. And so she's asking, like, wait, before you kill me, why don't you bring in a guard and tell that guard all of my crimes so that there's a witness to why I'm being murdered right now?
Right.
And so he brings in a guard. So he's about to kill her. And then she says, make a guard do it and let the guard know what my crimes are so that Tiberius doesn't have her blood on his hands. And he agrees, but he must also confess her crimes to the guard. So the guard comes in, and when Tiberius tries to tell her crimes, he is unable to because of the truth serum. And he ends up confessing that he killed Apollo.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he picks up a fire poker. He brings in a key.
I was like, wait a minute, that looks so familiar.
That's what I thought too. I was like, why are there all these fire pokers being used as weapons in these books? So he confesses that he didn't mean to kill Apollo. He wanted to kill Evangeline with the tear poisoned wine. So Tiberius gets put in prison. Marisol, I don't know what happens to Marisol. She's gone. And Evangeline gets to live in the palace as a princess still. But after a few days, Jax is still nowhere to be seen. So she's walking down the halls, and then this one butler comes up and he's like, oh, there's someone that would like to see you, Evangeline. And she figures, oh, it's got to be Jax. So she hears him in her head, and he's like saying, come find me, little fox. And she's like, I'm on my way to you right now. And so she begins walking down the halls, but his voice is suddenly further away. And he's like, little fox, where are you going? And so she begins to feel uneasy. But before she can turn around, she's brought into a room where there's a girl waiting for Eva who tells her that Apollo's alive. And she pulls back this carpet that Eva's standing on, revealing a secret door. And when she goes down, she sees Apollo laying on a table, looking weird and kind of dead, but kind of alive, but she can barely feel a heartbeat. That one weird girl's name is Phaedra. She tells Eva that Apollo is in some weird state of in between life and death and can remain like this forever, and thinks Eva is the one who can cure him. I don't know why, I don't remember. But seeing Apollo like this makes Eva spiral into conspiracy theories of who's the bad guy, and she begins to question Jax once more. And she decides that she won't take his help and she'll figure it out on her own. The end of book one. But I really liked this book, and I've read a couple of like hate comments on it, people's opinions, which they're welcome to have. But I liked it. I liked, when you come from reading so many girl bossing books where it's just like it's too much and the girls lose so much personality by being a badass or whatever. And reading Evangeline was it felt like a breath of fresh air, where she was kind and she wasn't strong and she didn't girl boss anything. She just was herself.
Yeah, I agree. It was really refreshing that she was girly and it wasn't
Yeah.
that trope of I'm not like other girls and looking down at women who wear makeup or like dresses, or there's something wrong if you don't like that stuff, but there's also nothing wrong if you do. You don't
Yeah.
have to put down one to lift up the other. And I like that. Somewhere in the book it said something like Evangeline is always like pretty sparkly things. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that. It's nice.
The thing is, I feel like her character is so much more relatable than all these other characters that I've read. It's just like, I don't know, I can't do all the things that a girl boss can do. I can't take down grown men, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know how to sword fight. That'd be really cool. It'd be fun to try. But, when you come just as you are as a human being, I liked reading it. I liked, she had to be witty at times on her own. And it's not like she's like this overly smart character either. So it's like she wasn't overly smart. She wasn't overly powerful. She just was girl.
Yes, I liked that too. I really did. And I like that like in the scenes where like she puts on a new gown, or like when Lala dresses her up or does her hair, or she has like a specific gown. It's not like a, because usually with those books I was expecting the stereotypical, this dress is so constricting. I can't fight in this dress. It's so, putting down.
Yeah, girliness.
That it wasn't that. It would be like she'd pass by the mirror and feel like, I love this dress. It makes me feel beautiful. And it was so nice. It was refreshing.
One thing too, when I was listening to this, and I didn't really think about it the first time I read the book, but listening to it and getting to the end and writing it down, I think one thing I really liked about it was it reminded me of the old Nancy Drew games I used to play with my mom. We used to play Nancy
Oh,
Drew, and it had that kind of mystery to it. Like, obviously it's not exactly like a Nancy Drew mystery, but it kind of gave me that feeling. I think it's also like Wolf Hall Manor is a very like Nancy Drew title also. Try to figure out like the real murder case and all that stuff. It gave me those vibes and I liked it. It had that like little bit of nostalgia in it. I liked the little fairy tale world. It felt a little bit
yeah.
small, but it felt lived in. Like people live here. Unlike, a certain other book where it's like NPCs are around.
Right. No, I agree with you. It was really good. I really liked it. I liked that things didn't just naturally come easy for her and she made mistakes. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And side note, narrator for the audiobook on Audible was pretty good too.
What would you rate this book out of 5 stars?
Out of five,
Mhm.
I have two ratings. As far as like enjoyment, how much I loved it, the story, the characters, the fact that she was girly, whimsical, all the things that, you had mentioned, I give it a 5 out of 5.
Mhm.
But as far as like certain things that I felt like were kind of plot holes, I guess, like not big ones, little ones, I would give it like a 4 or 4.5, because there were things that I kind of was expecting to tie up at the end, and it kind of was like, but what about that thing? I want to know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I guess like a lot of times that goes into book two or whatever. Oh, so I'll say my rating first. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 because I mean, there's obviously like the things I don't really care for. I don't like flowery writing. I don't like it. And there's a lot of that, and that's how this author tends to write. That is just her style, and there is nothing wrong with the style. That's just a me preference, and I'm not going to make that go towards lowering it because I don't think that makes it a bad book. It's just I don't like flowery writing. I think you
If
said
you
you
don't
do.
if you don't mind me, what do you mean by flowery
I think it's
writing?
like
Like what do you
where
mean?
things get overly described, and sometimes it's a little bit ridiculous descriptions of things. Like, I can't remember exactly like a quote, so I'm going to misquote, but let's say like the air smelt of cinnamon and magic and mystery. And that's not like a horrible one, but there's like so much of that for like little details. Like the doorknob, it felt like a jolt of a new adventure about to await. Something like it's just like with all these like little things, it's like that's great. Like I don't need to know like all these descriptions of apples and doorknobs and I don't know everything. Like I think it's good at times, and then there's just times it's so much, and it's like what after a point it's like what does that mean after so much?
No, that makes total sense, 100%. And I can see why not everybody would like that. You are 100% correct with that. I love that. I want to know everything. I want to know, was the doorknob cold? Was the doorknob silver?
But
Was
it's
it
not
gold?
just it's not
How did
just
the
gold and
couch
silver. It felt like magical in the air, and as you turned it, it felt like a new gust of adventurous wind was gonna flow through or something. It's like it's not just like I don't know.
I
Sometimes
love that
things
shit.
get
I
too
love
just
it.
I just like is it cold and is it silver? And that's all I need to know. I don't need to know like the extra weird details of the doorknob, I guess.
I love it. Like, oh, she sat on the leather couch and looked down, and like they describe like the stitching of the couch and like the color. I like that a lot. I
I
want to be completely immersed. I want to be dead to
Aw.
the world around me and feel like I'm in another world.
But I do agree with some of the plot holes too. A lot of the stuff at the beginning, I think, is just kind of weird. It kind of felt like you're just like falling right into the story. I just felt very rushed at the beginning, and like things are just happening. Oh my gosh! And then a wedding is going on right now, and like the whole like, and he's gonna get married today, right now, actually.
That's a really good point. Like what she does show is detailed, like
Mhm.
super detailed, but I feel like it could have been a lot longer with stuff that she mentioned that would have been really, really interesting if she wrote about it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But now I remember the thing I forgot, and that's the Donatella. It took me all the way till book two to know like who Donatella was because I got so frustrated with like what the F is up with Donatella. And so finally I looked it up, and she's from a completely different book that came before Once Upon a Broken Heart. And her and Jax are in that book together.
Was before? I thought it was after.
No, those books, the
Mm,
Caraval, and
yeah,
then
I saw that.
yeah, so those books came first. Once Upon a Broken Heart came after it. So Carball was her first book, which is about Scarlet. I did read the first two. I did not finish the legendary or legend one, the last one.
Mhm.
But I did read the first two, and I actually really liked Donatella as a character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I was like, oh my gosh, like this all makes sense now.
That's crazy because when I was listening to it, I thought the same thing. I'm like, why they're referencing it so heavy?
Like I
Like
feel
I'm
like I
supposed
should
to know who
know
this is.
this.
Yeah, but you don't. And when I looked it up for some reason, I thought it came out afterwards. I didn't know it was before.
hmm
Okay. And you liked it? Like you thought the story was good?
It was fine. I like Once Upon a Broken Heart much better.
Hmm.
The Caraval, it's just kind of weird and confusing. Speaking of that, that leads into how I kind of want to wrap this up. So I still have the Silvery Elite that I started. I'm like, I was still halfway through, and I got distracted with this book. And
Hmm.
then I was thinking there's a book called Light Lark, and the fourth book just came out, so I snatched that up. But I wanted to offer our viewers the chance to decide the next book. So I was thinking if they want to write in the comments what books they might want to see us talk about or me explain to you, and I'll give out at least options. And if there's something else that you guys would want to hear us talk about, please leave us a comment on it. But I was thinking I could either finish the Silver Elite, I could do Light Lark and tell you about that, or we can move on to book two of the Once Upon a Broken Heart. And if there's a mysterious fourth option that everyone wants to collectively agree to watch, I would be happy to hear it.
Yay.
So
I'm
please,
excited. I'm excited.
I want to engage more with the people that watch these things. And then we have more subscribers now. It's like I want to engage with the people and see what the people want.
Me too. It's
I'm
like
sure.
I like doing this. It's fun, and I don't know, the people that do comment, you guys are really nice, and it's fun like hanging out with you guys and hearing your thoughts on some things. And I don't know, I don't have a question except wait, no, I do have a question. Comment what your favorite pizza is, and if you think pineapple belongs on pizza. I won't say my opinion. I have an opinion, but I won't say it. I'm curious. I want to know what people think.